Hello, you're listening to Hibs Talk. I'm your host as always, Gav. Joining me today is Dave.
Alright.
And Craig. How you doing?
Good, mate, you?
Yeah, good. I say as always, I wasn't here last week because I was sick, but I think Dave done a cracking job in my place. How did you find hosting, Dave?
I didn't enjoy it.
Nah? Why not?
But I much prefer just getting asked the questions rather than... But I didn't hear the best Tony voice for it, so... Whereas you're a natural, mate, so...
No, I don't know about natural, it's kind of... Say again, Craig, what were you saying?
I thought you'd done well.
Yeah, I was really impressed.
Obviously, as an experienced radio broadcaster myself, I thought you did, mate. I thought you came across well. I thought Jim came across well, and I think the message for the two of you regarding HSL has probably helped contribute to the boost in subscribers that they've had. Me being one of them, I said in the group chat, I signed up on the back of the podcast. So, I thought you done really well.
I signed up as well to something I've always talked about doing but never done. Signed up off the back of the podcast, obviously from listening, not being on it, and we've seen somebody else on Twitter. So even if 3 people signed up off the back, that's it was beneficial. But yeah, Dave, you've done a great job. Well done. So you can do it again anytime. If I'm ever can't be arsed, we'll get you a host. Your job's in jeopardy.
Just need to get Stephen to do a shot of hosting now.
Let's not get carried away. So we've got a busy show today. We're going to, I say news, it's kind of more fake news, but yeah, we've got a couple of stuff to run through. Obviously, Ron and Leeann have both spoken last week, so we'll have a chat about that. There's been an update with the season tickets, so we'll kind of see what we've said on that. We've been linked with Drey, Wright. Am I saying that right? So see what some St Johnstone fans are saying about him, and whether that could mean Boyle is on the way out. And we've got a wee quiz to finish up as well. So let's kick off with some of the news, or as I said, lack of. Leeann Dempster's going to Hearts, except she isn't, and Flo's loan has been extended at Rangers, except it wasn't. Sunday Post ran the story saying that the loan had been extended into August, and that post has now been taken down because there was no truth in it. So Dave, quite obvious, if Hibs are looking to sell Flo, they're not going to loan him out and then give themselves like a week to sell him at the end of August, are they?
No, he's going to be back the now and then. When he's away next time, that's him away.
Yeah, definitely. Last year's contract as well, so yeah, we'll definitely be looking to probably get rid of him. And Hearts, like I say, they seem to be having a shuffle and multiple roles, including manager. That one really shocked me, seeing the news to the manager there. But and Leeann Dempster was linked with her same role, but at Hearts, she was never going to go, Craig. She was already at the biggest team in Edinburgh. But do you think Hearts genuinely put her on the short list, or do you think that was again a fake news?
No, I don't think. I know we know that the papers talk shite mostly, but there must have been something in that for it to come out as even a leak. I think we know that Budge and Dempster, on the face of it anyway, seem to have a good relationship. Mm-hmm. When there's been like crowd trouble and stuff, they've came out with joint statements condemning it and things like that. But no, there was not a chance she was going to go there.
Yeah, definitely nonsense. A lot of fake news. So yeah, and like I say, more stuff to kind of get on, but we'll kind of get onto that the rest, like I say, with Boyle and stuff as we kind of talk about that further in the podcast. But Ron and Leeann give us updates. So like I say, I said to you, Dave, like sort of texting you before you done the podcast, maybe not to touch on it too much. He's touched on a bit, but not too much. Like I say, kind of wait until we hear more from Ron and Leeann about what they kind of had to say, because there's a lot of speculation going about that Hibs are going bust, Hibs are going out of business, all that nonsense for Hearts fans. I think they were just desperate after the relegation had been confirmed to kind of get some good news. But Ron, when he spoke, really emphasising a lot of pausing, such as external events, and also touched on the youth academy. And then Leeann followed that up, saying the only way we can do that is to have our team ready to play football, and the only way to have that is to have a biosecure environment down at HTC. We can't have a biosecure environment if we have 106 kids and their families coming to wide HTC. That is not compatible. And then she kind of went on about how they're going to have to change the way they do the programmes, and talked about how they're sort of still committed to the academy development of the young players, but just going to have to change how they're doing it. So Dave, starting with yourself, was that quite a quite pleasing to hear that. I'm doing a leading question. What was your kind of reactions to the statements from Ron and Leeann on the academy?
Well, it's good that it's just getting paused, because it was the hospitality improvements and non-game day events, he said. But it's good that it's just paused. He did say that it's just going to be for the next few months. I think as soon as we start getting people back into the stadiums, then everything will open back up again. But we just need to look after ourselves like the now. Do you know what I mean? Yeah. Even though we're in a good financial situation, doesn't mean you just keep chucking money at something that's when it's no producing anything at the other side. So,
but yeah, Craig, like I say, there's a lot of jumping to conclusions, thinking that this was a cost thing that was potentially happening with the academy. Leanne Dempster kind of shot down both the cancelling of it and mothballing. She kind of said it wasn't either of them. So is this maybe more of a safety approach rather than a financial thing?
I would think so. I mean, I wouldn't be too adverse to Hibs using this as an opportunity to rip the academy up and start again. Because whatever they're doing isn't working. I know the 21s had that season a couple of years ago where they won the double, but it's only really Porteous that's managed to establish himself as a first-team player.
John Collins was speaking, saying the exact same thing. He kind of done an article saying, and I think Bobby Williamson spoke as well, but John Collins said about how it needs to be fixed and not mothball. And like you said, as you said, the Harlan and Stevenson came through in 10, 12 years. And between now and then, Porteous is only the other one to really come through regularly playing for Hibs. So it's not worked. So yeah, and then he kind of went on about, how we're a big capital club and we really should be using that pool to kind of bring in as much as possible. So yeah, so going on about that, Craig, like I say, just the academy just hasn't worked in recent years.
No, it's not. And I do think that there's been, when you look at Scottish football, I think in general terms, usually every now and then you'd have maybe one or two players at each team that would be breaking through that you'd be really excited about. Mm-hmm. Whereas, you look at, in the last couple of years we've got Billy Gilmore just now, who's the biggest prospect, but Harry Cochrane came on the scene at Hearts, hit the ground running, had that performance against Celtic, done really well for about 2-3 months, and then just disappeared. And there's, off the top of my head anyway, there's no youngsters knocking on the door at Rangers, there's no youngsters knocking on the door at Celtic. Hearts have got a plethora of youngsters that they'll play 1 week, then they'll no play, then they'll play, then they'll be out on loan for 6 months, then they'll be back. Okay, you could probably argue that it's maybe Motherwell that are the ones, leading the way with that. And even then, that's David Turnbull, who should, in theory, be a Celtic player. So I don't think that, in terms of the costs side of things, at the end of the day, we're a business set up to support the first team. And that's where the majority of revenue needs to go into. If that means cutting costs elsewhere, then as harsh as it sounds, we have to be ruthless with that. And if it means mothballing the academy for a year to allow the club overall to be on a better financial footing, then I don't see how there can be any argument for it.
And Dave, I know it's a big question. Like say, just the three of us are just sort of football fans. We're not going to have the perfect answer. But to you, what needs to change for the academy? Because 3 players coming through in 12 years, nothing exciting, is it?
No, it's pretty bad, to be fair. What needs to improve? I have honestly no idea, because I would need to get in and see how it is now. Do you know what I mean? I had no idea what they're doing wrong. I'd say if it would maybe need a shake-up if the same people have been there for the last 5-6 years and nothing's really changing. Do you know what I mean? You didn't keep doing the same thing to get the same results. But honestly, no idea.
Do you think there's a lot of pressure on the managers? So, for example, an example I was talking to somebody about during the week was Mackie at Ibrox. Didn't have a great game and obviously got the red card. Paul Heckenbottom throws him under the bus in the post-match interview and then puts him out on loan. Is there too much pressure on managers to get results so they won't take the chances on young players and they'll kind of use them as scapegoats at times if they do?
Yeah, and to be fair, it's a good point, and it's also an argument, and it was my papa that came up with this argument for a 18-team league, for example, or a 20-team league. Because then if you're playing everybody home and away, then you're like, say, like Hamilton and that, and then I've got more teams kind of in their level kind of run about the bottom, that they can go, we're more likely, Hamilton was a bad example because they kind of bleed young players anyway, but do you know what I mean? Like, they can bleed more young players in, knowing that you're only playing the Old Firm once or twice, and it'll be a good experience for them, and you'll take more of a risk because you've got more players teams running about you, competing for that relegation spot. More likely to get a better league overall.
I think something like that's a stronger argument than Colt teams in League One and League Two.
100%.
As much as you would sort of counter that with kind of, if you've got 18 teams in the league, you're going to have teams that are sitting 9th and 10th, and you came by about November, December, you've got nothing to play for. So it's almost the same argument with the 14-team league when it splits to 6 and 8.
You see that in, like, say, the Championship. There's always one team that goes on a run towards the playoffs and stuff. So if you had Europe or something else, like, say, for something to put, even like a playoff for Europe or something in those sort of positions, then, you know, that could be something as well. But
I just don't think merits in a split.
Yeah.
Whatsoever.
Yeah.
I mean, I don't, like, you see it in the Premiership. Remember a few years ago, you had West Ham going to Man United to win, to stay up on the last day, and they managed to do it. Like, you didn't, or you could have instances like similar, Rangers or Celtic having to go to St Mirren on the last day of the season to win the league, and St Mirren need a win to stay up. Whereas you've got, when you look at instances like, just because it was spoken about the other day in the group chat, was Helicopter Sunday. That day we just had to make sure that we didn't concede more goals than what Aberdeen conceded at Pittodrie. That was it. And obviously Motherwell threw a total spanner in the works by it. But it then becomes, if shootouts like that just become who can score more against the teams that in the top 6 have got nothing to play for. I suppose that's an argument for another day.
But I think the kind of arguments you're coming up there with against, like, changes to league. So against, like, an 18-team league, the benefits of having 12, the benefits of the split, the benefits of the Colt teams. Who do these all benefit? It's the Old Firm. And I think there is a real issue in Scottish football about pandering to them too much. But we've kind of spoken about that a lot.
I'm not buying for 1 second that it helps the national team.
Aye, never.
I'm sorry, because if it was to help the national team, then you get every team. You're then looking at every team in the scrap the reserve league and every team that's in the Premiership. Give them a Colt team in League Two. I mean, you remember a few years ago, was it maybe under Butcher or Stubbs' first season, where we had the team playing in the East Scotland League, and that's where Hibs signed Jason Cummins. He went in there, scored about 20-25 goals in the first 3-4 months. And that's how he got his chance in the first team. Do that. Go and let them play against these guys that are just below the professional level.
Yeah,
and see what it's like.
I was just about to say that. That's that one thing they could... obviously, reserve football is not a thing anymore. It's development football. So you've got, like, the example that Fraser Murray, see if he's not getting a chance in the first team, didn't he have him in and out of the first team and then development team, gone and travelling away down and playing Huddersfield and that? Just let him out on loan. Didn't he stifle him? Like, we're completely ruined Ollie Shaw, in my opinion. Ollie Shaw should have went out on loan and then came back to Hibs if he was good enough. No jumping in and off the bench. They didn't. His development was definitely wasn't good enough through that, I think.
And on that, like I say, me and Dave have spoken about this quite a bit in the last few weeks. So just quickly, your thoughts on it, Craig. That going into next season, there's talk that the transfers might be a bit quieter. Is there an opportunity? And I know you've spoken in the podcast before, Craig, about Fraser Murray, how long he's been in the team or not in the team. Is there an opportunity for Fraser Murray, Gullen, Dabrowski and stuff to kind of step up and sort of maybe have play a big part next season?
100%. And I think that there's going to be a lot of pressure off teams next season. The only team that there's going to be pressure on are Rangers and Celtic. 1, to try and win the 10, and 2, to try and stop the 10.
Yeah.
I think that for players like, we're not going to be in a position to buy. So even players like, Ryan Shanley, who's in the development team, Ben Sterling, who I seem to have heard his name, he must have been a Hibs player on FM for the last 5-6 years. Do you know what I mean? Like, but he's never made a first team appearance. we've got Josh Campbell, who was getting raved about in pre-season last season. Nothing. So I think you're right. It is something that will help teams, and I don't see why we can't be going into games looking at who can we use to utilise the following season. Is Ben Sterling going to be a worthwhile option at right back? Is Sean Mackey the answer at left back? There's players like Josh Doig, Ryan Shanley, and all that. That's the Galantes as well. He's a full international. He's never even made a first team. He's never even made a first team squad. Are these guys going to be able to show that they're capable of playing at the level needed? And I think that it would be Hibs would be foolish not to take that opportunity while it's there. I think a lot of clubs, in theory, would be foolish not to take it while it's there.
Yeah, I think it's going to be a difficult season, and if there was players like that getting opportunities in the team, like some of the names you've ran through there, I think for Hibs fans watching on, it would make it a lot more exciting. Watching, like, that's what you love to see. You love to see people coming in and getting better and progressing. But yeah, so
I think we've got a genuine affinity to, when you think about some of the players in the past that have broke through, just because you mentioned them, John Collins, even going back to him, how we think about players like John Collins, Gordon Hunter, Mickey Weir, Kevin Harper, the Golden Generation. Do you know what I mean? Those teams didn't have pressure on them.
Yeah.
When you look at it this way, that season with Williamson where Riordan O'Connor and all that got bloodied in.
Last 5 games of the season, especially.
Oh, sorry, it was for the start of that season. That's when they really started getting their chance.
Yeah, and then, like I say, the last 5 games, it was just...
Mowbray comes in and then bang, they hit the ground running. Who's say that couldn't happen again with any of the youngsters that are in the academy just now?
I always remember, like I say, Bob Williams last season, we finished in the bottom 6 and we were always going to finish 7. So Bob Williams was just fine. We played Scott Brown, we played Riordan, we played Whittaker, we played all these people, and they just played full games. And I loved that second half of the season, seeing all these youngsters coming through. So yeah, definitely it's something to make what's probably going to be a difficult season a bit more exciting. There was one here I was going to ask Stephen if he was, but obviously he's kind of he's a busy dad, so he's kind of not able to make it on tonight. But I was going to ask him because he'd spoke last week about money mentioned at the AGM and how where's that going. And Ron was quite clear with that. Said we have got money in the bank, but we want to make sure we've got as much of that left so we can pick up this 5-year plan that was this exciting plan at the AGM and kick that on once things are back to normal, whenever that's going to be. And then the final note I had here was kind of about Leeann Dempster talking about the progress that HSL or Hibernian supporters have made in recent weeks. But obviously we talked about that at the start of the show. So yeah, like I say, I think there's been a lot of improvements on their online, their social media presence as well. They've got a guy Daniel involved and he's doing some great stuff. So yeah.
It's over 9,000!
So the next thing was about the season tickets. Obviously it's kind of a bit of a strange one, obviously, with a lot of money. They're no cheap season tickets, so kind of a lot of questions from fans about what their money is going to be going towards. And Hibs have kind of outlined the virtual package for the season ticket holders, and they're talking about, it'd be a pass to get access to the live games, but also a 2.5-hour match day programme, including presenters, pundits, and features. And they also went on to thank the club for the support, the fans for their support. And sort of went on about the framework between Sky and the SPFL means live coverage for home games, and until we return to normal capacity, and they want to make the best match day experience they can. So, what's your kind of thoughts, Dave, on, like, so obviously it's a lot of money for a season ticket. What's your kind of thoughts on some of it going towards a virtual experience kind of one, and at least in the short term, if not longer?
Yeah, well, they had to provide something. So my expectations were pretty simple. I get to watch the game, so they've kind of covered that. I do think, I don't know, I think they could have maybe offered something a wee bit more in terms of to get more people to buy a season ticket. To me, there's no really anything big there, do you know what I mean? Not that you should need something big, because if you're getting a season ticket, that's not what you're getting a season ticket for. But just to incentivise people that are maybe like kind of on the fence, I thought they'd maybe like a discount off some of the home kits or you know what I mean? Just something like that, just to drag people on board. But
yeah, I think there was some stuff about it and putting out surveys and also about a monthly competition and stuff, which was also in there, but I didn't get the full details for.
Yeah, you get to kind of enter a survey and you get a raffle ticket or something. So sign up.
Yeah. And I mean, this is something I've not got a lot of research on, so I'm kind of asking you guys a question. What have you guys heard about the whole potential Murrayfield thing? Obviously, that's sort of a biodome as well, and sort of potentially getting fans in there. Craig, start with yourself. What have you heard about Murrayfield?
Well, Leeann came out the other day and said that they're trying to work with the SRU to make it more cost effective, because with the social distancing measures that need to be in place, we need to rent out the whole stadium.
Mm-hmm.
And that obviously has running costs for the entire stadium. I think, in terms of the season ticket thing overall, it's, we'd often cried about Scottish football's tin pot, right? You've got Celtic and Rangers, probably 30,000 each between them. Hibs, 9,000. Hearts, 7,000. When we're in the midst of what's going on, with a lot of people getting 80% of their pay, some people not getting any pay, still able to commit in those numbers to buying season tickets is nothing short of phenomenal. And it shows the backing and the support that fans in Scotland in general have for their teams. And I think, even though it's rival clubs as well, that needs to be commended, because I'm lucky, I'm in a fortunate position where I've been working from home during this time and I'm still getting full pay. There's people like yourself, Dave, you work in retail. I don't know if you've been getting full pay or not.
Nah.
Well, there you go. But you're still in a position where you've thought you can still make that sacrifice to get yourself a season ticket. And I think I do think what you're saying is right in terms of incentivise other people to sign up, but also those people that have signed up, that have made that commitment. Can we made the commitment, not even know if there was going to be any games.
Yeah.
We didn't know that there was going to be any football played, and we still made that commitment. And I think that the club have missed the mark a wee bit. I'm not going to criticise them too much, because it's, we never expected to find ourselves in this position. But I do think that there could have been a wee bit more given to fans that have signed up, and to encourage other supporters that might be in that position where they're looking at their disposable cash and go, do you know what, I'll put it in. Because that's the one thing that football clubs do, is that they tug on your heartstrings. And that's certainly what Hibs do.
Do you think that's something that might happen like further down the line? Like, say, obviously, this is all kind of, a lot of people have been, like, say, David talked about being like retail staff being furloughed. A lot of people at Hibs have been furloughed as well. Is that maybe something like, say, these ideas will keep on coming, and the reward maybe will be more once things are more back to normal, to kind of make sure to thank fans? Whether, like, I know there've been speculation about people that potentially, obviously this is not going to happen anytime soon, potentially people that didn't ask for refunds being able to go along to HTC for a day and things like that. And this is just all speculation and stuff about things that could potentially do. There's a lot of stuff, like, say, thanking fans that signed up season tickets that might come after. Dave, start with yourself.
Yeah, that possibly is. And to be fair, what Craig's saying is right. It's not necessarily a criticism, because it's brand new. It's never happened before. At least they've created some sort of package, and I've organised that the season ticket holders can watch the game. I didn't know. That's the thing. There would always be somebody wanting more, like, no matter what package they put together. But even this is another thing that was kind of spoke about in our group chat. But away games, like, how can I watch the away games? I think season ticket holders should be able to watch the home and away games to make, like, get our money's worth. Do you know what I mean? For the game, because it might only be the first 6-7 games of the season or something. So if the Hibs could strike up a deal that the season ticket holders could then access another, do you know what I mean? Something like that.
It's how they're looking up, because you've got, I'm assuming that we're going to run things through Hibs TV.
Yeah.
So they're then going to have fans at others. So when we're playing away, are they then going to have to sign into Hibs TV? Or can we, if we play Rangers away first game of the season, are we going to be able to sign into Hibs TV and they'll pull a feed for Rangers TV? Or
that absolutely should be able to happen. It's 2020, like,
There might be some legal stuff about that behind that, or that might be discussions that are kind of ongoing. But I completely agree. I think considering we're not getting into the ground, Dave. Sorry to sort of clear, but yeah, I completely agree. We should be getting home and away games.
I also think I hope there's going to be something announced for walk-ups as well, because there is a lot of there's a lot of fans out there that do pick and choose their games. For a variety of reasons, and they should still be afforded the opportunity to watch the games. Saying things like even the word, player season ticket holders are guaranteed exclusive access to watch the games. Why not just say as of right now, we can only say that season ticket holders. However, we are working on a package in the background, because then if you make something available for walk-ups, then what stops me creating a Aberdeen TV account and pretending I'm a home fan and signing up that way?
Yeah. Did they not? Was it you that said that you're only allowed as many people as like season tickets you had last year?
I'm sure there was somebody said something about that.
I could get 2 logins because I've got one for me and I've got one for Alfie.
Right, aye, but you were only allowed.
They were going to cap it at 13,000
season tickets.
So if we exceed X amount of season, so then there's where the issue with the walk-ups then come in.
Yeah, that's maybe what the exclusive thing is.
Yeah,
so you're guaranteed it if you're a season ticket holder.
Mm-hmm. But I'm sure there'll be more information coming out, and that's good to see the club are doing something. And like I say, I think there will be more information coming out. It's not ideal. I want to be at Easter Road, let's face it, but we're going to have to make the best of whatever situation we're in until then.
I ordered a face mask.
What's that?
I ordered a face mask.
Oh, one of the Hibs ones?
That's one, absolutely.
I thought you meant a face mask in general. I was like, Dave, come on, it's been about 3 months now.
I ordered a Hibs one. I'm an absolute idiot. For no reason, I just was like, oh, I want that. It was just an impulse buy.
Just cut the label off and stick it on your balls.
Aye. Oh, thank you. I forgot I was in strike.
I've just got like the shit wee ones, like just the wee blue ones.
Blue ones, aye. Well, I'm getting the blue ones, and then I'm getting Adidas ones for work. So I was like, right, if I get an Adidas one, then I get a Hibs one, then I'm pretty much sorted. Like,
talk about capitalism, eh? Like, there's like fucking branded PPE.
Right, but Adidas are giving money to charity for it, so
all the proceeds?
Absolutely not. Absolutely not.
Becca went to a girl at college that's doing the face masks, and she makes up the custom ones as well. Not custom ones, but she's got these loads of designs, and mine has pirate ships on it. I love it. It's brilliant.
Nice.
I wouldn't expect anything less for you, do you know that?
Okay, so next we're going to talk about a potential new signing. There has been rumours that he had a medical on Thursday, so we're going to talk about Drey, Wright. So we did try and get some stuff for obviously with us, so with football stopping, we use Y-Scout to kind of get stats and stuff. With that not available with football stopping, I thought we'll save some money, and I've kind of stopped the subscription. Went to restart it, and it's not as straightforward as I thought. So we don't have much stats on him, unfortunately. So instead, I went over to let me get this right. weareperth.co.uk, is that right? I've got it here. weareperth.co.uk. So yeah, and I've got some reaction from St Johnstone fans saying what they think about him leaving. So I'll kind of go through these and get your guys' reaction to it. So I've got to read through here first. So when I read this, the stats, 2 seasons, 45 games and 2 goals. That's not brilliant. Best of luck in the future. Thanks for the service. We move on. And the next person said, as others have said, given the choice, I'd have kept Wright purely for the entertainment value. Some of his flicks tricks were superb, but his work rate was excellent. However, his output in terms of stats was non-existent and isn't exactly a loss. He may be replaced by a less exciting player. So it goes on like that. So Dave, have we signed another Daryl Horgan? All the tricks and flicks, but no end product.
I said that when I seen his stats, and I didn't know who Drey Wright was. Right, I'm not going to try and be like, oh, class player. Didn't know who it was. So It's no exactly glowing feedback. I like excitement though. So see somebody that's got a wee bit of spark in that. If he's surrounded with better players, then he might get a better output. Do you know what I mean? He's been putting the ball into fucking James May for the majority of the season, so it's not exactly helpful, is it?
James May, you on Top Gear?
What's the other guy's name? Stevie May. Who cares? Who cares?
St Johnstone would be a much better position if they had James May up top.
Exactly.
And the next one, so we started talking about the contract. Apparently, might have been offered reduced terms, and somebody sort of said, "I liked him and thought he was a cracking player, but you can't look past the lack of goals and injury problems. Missed the start of the season with cruciate ligament surgery, so hard to argue he deserved an increased wage. His only league goal for the club was a deflected cross against Hamilton, and then they've put all the 9 midfielders for St Johnstone." In terms of their goals and assists combined. So Matt Kennedy's top, for example, 9 goals and 6 assists, and he left halfway through the season. Drey Wright comes 8th on that list, 1 goal and 3 assists last season. It was only 22 games, but so Craig, I mean, if he is going to come into a Hibs team, we've been struggling for goals and assists from midfield as it is. Is he going to need to change that about his game?
I've noticed an article where Danny Swanson spoke quite highly of him, and said that he'd be a good fit for Hibs. I think as we've seen in football over the last sort of couple of years, as the game's evolved, stats don't tell the whole picture. Mm-hmm. Ken, who's to say that he's no whipping the ball into the box and a centre midfielder's nodding it back across goal for the striker? So Wright's not getting the assist. I mean, I'm like Dave, I'm going to be brutally honest. I'd heard his name, but if you'd have put him in front of me, I wouldn't have been able to tell you who he was or what he looked like or what his playing style was. But we only need to look at somebody like Martin Boyle, who's a winger, who was in and out, in and out, in and out, and you can now argue as our most valuable asset. So I think one thing we've not really been good at is picking up what could be perceived as the best of the rest in the league. If we're looking at somebody like Drey Wright, Mikael Miller, Gogic, etc. So who knows? I do think we need another winger, and like Dave says, if he provides a bit of entertainment, if he's Megan folk or doing a couple of step overs, Maradona turn, putting somebody on their arse, that'll be enough for me.
That's one thing I've been missing with football, is see entertainment. Because see, sitting watching English football, and I know I talked about this last week and all the week before, it's fucking boring, man. It's so boring. And I'm like, this is no entertaining at all. And then you've got Jamie Redknapp trying to tell me it was a good game. I'm like, fuck off, Jamie. I can't record.
I was going to make that point earlier about the Development League. This is what I think the Development League looks like.
Yeah.
Like this standard of football, because it's no great at all. It's effectively training games.
Yeah.
That's just, you've just reminded me of that, Dave. Thanks.
Canberra had shit stats too when Canberra came. I mind when sorry, I shouldn't say his name, he who shall not be named. When he came, the rat bastard. He had shit stats. I mind going on Wikipedia and was like, who is this guy? And then he done alright. It ended bad, but
aye. And Craig, you mentioned Martin Boyle there. I mean, that's sort of the main title of the episode today. So, could this mean Boyle's on his way out as a result? He's in the final 12 months of his contract. Michael O'Neill at Stoke is apparently interested in him. Huddersfield's apparently looking at him as well. Celtic were linked with him in January. Neil Lennon, big admirer. So, and as I said, I don't know why I've put Boyle has 12 months remaining on his contract. I've put that twice just to kind of emphasise he's not has 12 months his contract. But apparently Hibs have slapped a 7-figure price tag on it. So, Craig, is Wright a potential replacement for him?
Possibly. I think Boyle's an interesting one. I mean, Boyle's what, 27 now?
Not sure. I'll quickly Google it while you're going to wee.
I think he's 27. So you're thinking that his next contract is going to be his most important one. If he's leaving Hibs, he's going to sign for another club on a 3-year deal, take him into his 30s. Yeah. Is he 28 this year, Gab, or did he turn 27 this year?
get my phone back up
Sorry.
again. 27, turned 27 in April. So yeah, just turned.
There you go. So you're looking at his next contract, 3-4 year deal to take him into his 30s. You can look at it one of two ways. We, stayed loyal to him while he was injured. He then got fit. He then got injured again. Or you look at it, he's been with us from the first season in the Championship. He's been with us that entire time. Has he given us enough back to warrant us letting him go? I would think, especially with him now being a father and, being on, getting involved in international football, could he see this as, his chance to go to somewhere like Stoke, get that? I mean, I don't know what he's on at Hibs, but you're looking at Championship clubs the level of Stoke. You're probably looking at 5 figures a week, 10 grand upwards. That could set him up for life.
Yeah.
I wouldn't grudge him it. I genuinely wouldn't grudge him it.
And as Craig sort of spoke about there about the development we've seen of him, Dave, is that life as a Hibs fan though? Boyle didn't have the end product. We've seen he's had his injuries and stuff. This season's been the season where he's finally had that final product towards the end of the last season, and then mostly this season, obviously without the injury at the start, and then the pandemic ending the season towards the end. That middle part of the season that actually happened and he was involved in was probably the best form we've seen of Boyle. So we've seen him come in, be a bit of a headless chicken, get better, develop, and just as he gets to that stage where it's like, right, we've got a decent player here, boom, they're away. Is that life as a Hibs fan?
Yeah, you can't do anything about it. I mean,
is that the kind of club we are, though? We're going to have to accept we're going to sign players that maybe don't have the final product. As soon as they get it, they're the finished article, and we have to cash in on them.
Yeah, until Hibs, I don't know if it'll happen in my lifetime, until Hibs have got the ambition to be challenging to win the league, then that is the type of club we are.
Yeah.
And I'm the same as Craig. I wouldn't grudge him leaving at all. I think I don't think anybody would. See if you come in and you do a good job and you're entertaining, you've been here for years and you show that you gave a shit, and then you get an opportunity to go on and, like Craig said, he's in his prime years now. Like, this will be his biggest contract, his next one that he signs, to set him up. Then you wouldn't grudge him that at all.
I think you hear people say
when go to Rangers, then he's off. Then
nope. Yeah. I think you hear people say about when players get injured and they're kind of, they go through the rehabilitation at the club. Oh, we paid them through their injury. We helped rehabilitate them. They owe us. I understand why people say that, but at the same time, I think that just emphasises how short football careers are. And if a guy like Boyle, who's had, I mean, yes, he's kind of, the surgery's had has kind of fixed it, but he's had that injury, twice. And he, it's like Craig says, 27. If he can go to Stoke and get one big payday, a final, but a 3-year deal with good wages, that's him set. And then if he does have an injury, then, in football, then that's on Stoke. But hopefully it doesn't.
See, that's when the injury argument falls down. It's like, Ken, you've been injured for 9 months. Ken, we stood by you. But they got injured representing the club.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? They got injured either playing or training for the club that they're employed by. So it's a two-way street.
Yeah.
But no, like I say, I think Boyle would be one of the ones like McGeoch. You say thanks very much for your service. Like McGinn, thanks very much for your service on your way.
Yeah.
Because he's been nothing but, he's emphasised like the sort of character that we've needed at Hibs over the last few years. Ken, he's known. You see the interviews with HTC and with interviews with Hibs TV, and that it's a running joke. Oh Christ, here comes Boiler again.
Yeah, I think he's so laid back. I think there's an argument to say we will miss him potentially more off the field, and then like say at HTC in the dressing room than we would on the pitch as well. But yeah, he's been at. Well, you going to say something, Dave?
No, I was just going to say. So I'll put a question to you two then, right? Mm-hmm. So say Hibs were getting offered 500 grand, 450, 500 grand from Stoke, and he can go for that, or he can play it this final season and go for nothing. What would you rather?
I'd rather he stayed.
Yeah, so would I.
Depend on the current financial situation at the club. If that 500 grand was the difference between us finding ourselves in bother further down the line,
Mm-hmm.
then I'd take the money.
That's
But
it.
I'd much rather, if Boyle was going to leave, I'd much rather enjoy watching him in his final season as a Hibs player
So would I.
before going on a free. Do you know what I mean? He signed for us in 2015. That'll be 6 years we've had it him.
Yeah. You couldn't even say he's left in a free. Well, no, we got 5 year at him, but 5-6 year at him. So it's not really.
And he came as a very unproductive winger, come striker for Dundee.
Yeah.
Swapped him for Harris, was it not something?
He leaves a Scottish Cup winner with full, he's a full internationalist.
Should be for Scotland.
And, like I said, he would be one of the ones, even if he hadn't been part of the cup winning squad, I think with the service that he's given Hibs over the years, he would always be warmly welcome back.
Yeah. And so finally on that, I mean, if he was to stay and play out the final year's contract at Hibs, or fingers crossed, sign a new deal, never going to happen, but you never know. Craig, I mean, I've spoken to David about this in the last few weeks. What would you say? I mean, we've seen, Canberra's going to go, McNulty's away, so Dodge is sort of like our only recognised striker. What would you say about, now that Boyle's kind of got that final product, what would you say about him playing up top with Dodge rather than right wing back or on the right wing?
I think it'd work well. Dodge, obviously, he played up front against Hearts on Boxing Day and scored twice.
Yeah.
So, and those were two not particularly easy chances that he found himself with as well. So, not only did he have, the awareness to find himself in those positions, the one with the second goal was playing on the shoulder of the bearer and running in behind. Not only has he got the awareness of that, but he also had the composure, with his two finishes in an Edinburgh derby. That shows another level of intelligence that he's got. So I'd be happy, especially if we're bringing in somebody like Wright, who is a winger. You push, or you just play them either side of Dodge. Yeah. But no, I think he's definitely improved to the level where he could be, he could play up front for us on a regular basis.
Yeah, I think it'd be a really, really exciting partnership. Dodge, likes to be in that 6-yard box, Boyle doing all the running, but also, like say, can get behind like he did at Tynecastle. So yeah, I'd love to see him play up top, but we'll see what happens if he's even here. Finally, any other transfer rumours you guys have heard? I don't, like I also mentioned Gogic and stuff briefly, but anything else you have heard, or do you just want to finish up with the quiz?
No, it's been quite quiet, isn't it? No, I genuinely not really heard anything, but I didn't really enjoy transfer windows. So I try and stay away from it. It rips my knitting. Like, I'm too impatient, I'll be honest.
I put transfer window in the title of the podcast. We get our most listens, so I love it.
The things that they tend to have shite transfer windows anyway.
Yeah, exactly.
Craig, finally, what's your kind of? I mean, David, what's your kind of thoughts on what we need this window to finish up on the transfer window? Big question.
In the middle of the park. If I was to say one thing that we need a Bartley type.
Yeah.
That can just be a destroyer in the middle. That's, I think, elsewhere where the team's concerned at the moment. I mean, I think we're pretty stacked in centre mid. I was thinking about this tonight. Actually, I feel confident that Hallberg will have a big part to play.
Yeah, I agree.
And I would love to see him get a good extended run in the team, because I think we've got a right player in there. I think elsewhere throughout the team, we're pretty settled. But getting that one guy in midfield that can just sit in front of the back four and patrol that sort of central area of the park is definitely what we need.
Definitely. We've missed sort of, since Bartley went, I think Hallberg did a decent job there the first half of the season, but then Jack Ross didn't seem to like him there, and sort of, we tried other things. But yeah, I think that would be a good position to bring in and free up Hallberg to kind of even potentially replace Docherty as that box-to-box player but with that energy. But yeah. So we're going to finish up with a quick Who Am I quiz. So you guys have got, Dave, I know you love your buzzers. You've got 30 seconds to think of a silly buzzer. If you kind of come up with one, just use your name. So it can be anything, just like say, for you to kind of, just like say a buzzer. So say you want to say fake news, then that would be your buzzer.
I'm I'm going to be the guy for the old SPL intro video on Sky Sports. Remember him? Hearts! Hearts! I'll get accused for my mates of being obsessed, which is what I get every time I mention Hearts.
So while he's having a quick think, this is just a silly quiz. It's one I found online. I've kind of screenshotted them, so hopefully you guys haven't done it, because that would kind of ruin the game. But it's the Wikipedia careers of 12 players, so just want to know who the Hibee is.
I've done that earlier.
No way.
Aye, it was on one of the pages on Facebook. Yeah.
Right. So Dave, you're the one playing it. You're playing it yourself. See how you can get on. So we'll quickly fire through this, Dave, and folk can play at home. So
didn't he give him the multiple choice though? Just give him the.
You're going to get the multiple choice. So Dave, let's see how you get on. So this player started their career in 2008 at Ashdod and had a loan at Royal XL Mushin. And came on loan to Hibs for 21 appearances, and since then has made 73 appearances for Hibs.
Since then?
Yeah, so they're still at Hibs. 73 appearances at Hibs. Initially a loan, 21 appearances on loan.
If I was to tell you to look at the sun.
Is it Flo?
No, it's not. The correct answer is Alfio Marciano.
Oh, son. That's his son's name. Oh, yeah, that's a misleading clue, because Flo was on newspaper today on to Rangers, so that's what I thought he meant.
It was the Sunday Herald, but we'll let you
I've just been stitched up. It's actually on the Sun as well.
So we should call him Mr. Shelley Marciano.
So this player, Dave, made their debut in 2008 and has also made 2 appearances on loan at St Johnstone.
Oh my God, Paul Hanlon.
Correct, got that one right. So this player came through at Man United, had loans at Royal, Antwerp, Crewe Alexander, Plymouth Argyle, and then Plymouth Argyle again before going to Preston, and then Stevenage before signing for Hibs.
David Gray.
Correct. Next one here, we've got, so this player came through the youth ranks at Queen's Park, 58 games for them before going on to St Mirren. Didn't make any appearances for them and went back on loan to Queen's Park, and then went on loan to Dumbarton. Then signed for Dumbarton, 35 games. Then went to Dundee for 2 years. Then Chesterfield down in England, back up to Partick Thistle. Any guesses yet before I give it away?
No, I'll keep going.
So they then, after being at Partick Thistle, signed for St Mirren before signing for Hibs.
Paul McGinn.
Correct. I was hoping you'd get sooner. So
that's fair. I'm letting everybody that's listening play along. I'm not going to ruin
it. So this player came through at Salt Hill, Devon. 23 appearances for them.
Right, no, keep going.
Is it Sligo Rovers? Is that correct pronunciation?
Yeah, Sligo.
Yes. Sligo Rovers, 10 appearances for them. Then went to Cork City initially on loan, and then for 2 years. Nope. Then went to Dundalk. And what's that?
No, keep going.
Then went to Dundalk for 3 years before a year at Preston before signing at Hibs.
Oh, Horgan.
It is Daryl Horgan, correct. So this one came through at Quimboran Celtic. Didn't make any appearances, or there was no appearances on record. First ones that are kind of here is Barrytown, 30 games for them, 26 goals, good return. These are some names. Also played for Dagenham and Redbridge, 10 goals in 46 games.
Deutsch.
It's Deutsch, yes.
Something that the Hibs want you to know.
So this player, Dave, came through at Montrose, 64 appearances and 25 goals before moving to Dundee for 3 years, only 4 goals in 56 games. Went back on loan to Montrose before a loan move to Hibernian, where he scored 3 goals in 17 games before signing permanently for Hibs.
So Boyle.
It's Martin Boyle, yeah.
What's Boyle's stats on Wikipedia in terms of appearances and goals for Hibs?
This is only league, but 28 goals in 131 games. So for a winger, it's actually quite a decent return.
What's that? Just shy a goal every 5?
Every 4, I think.
5 or something like that.
Aye. Which is quite good for a winger. So let's have a look. So we've done that one. Finally, getting towards the end now. So this player came through at Peterborough United, 96 games for them. Also had a loan at St Albans City. Went on to Rotherham, 139 games for Rotherham, and then moved to Hibs.
No.
It is nil. And we'll finish up there. We've done 10, so we'll finish up there, or 9.
Thank God. I done all right.
You done well. You done well, Dave. It would have been better if it was sort of head to head, but never mind. I understand.
Needless to say, I got 12 out of 12.
But you also get
I should have texted you to see. I thought.
It was multiple choice.
I didn't get that.
I did think about.
Points champion. Let's not forget.
I did think about texting you to see if you've done it, but I was worried about that you might go searching for it and get the answers. So.
I would have just got the answers. I would just went to Google anyway.
So yeah, so that was just a fun wee quiz to finish up. But yeah, so you guys got much planned for this week? Still working from home, Craig? How are you finding it?
It's all right. It's weird. I actually feel like no more pressure, but I feel like if I'm in the office, I'll get up, I'll go make a cup of tea, I'll blab to folk on the way there, I'll get my tea, I'll blab to folk on the way back, I'll put my tea on my desk, I'll go and blab to somebody else. Whereas, fingers crossed, my manager doesn't listen to this podcast. But no, I feel like I'm more productive at home because it is quite lonely. I'm not going to lie.
Yeah, I've definitely struggled with that. Like the loneliness of it, and like I say, it's a lot more productive. Like say when was it in the office, we kind of have to kind of click. We're going to the toilet, so an unplanned break, and when I come back, it's usually about 7-8 minutes because you have to walk to the toilet and then get in the toilet and then come back. It's a long walk. Whereas, especially like say when there was a social distance in the office initially, and that was a long walk round. Whereas now, it's on the other side of the wall, that toilet. It takes in toilet hands wash is about 1.5 minutes. So yeah, a lot more productive in that sort of sense as well. But yeah, like I say, just sort of getting my head down because you've not got the distractions of talking for folk. But completely agree, it can be quite isolating and miss that camaraderie. But yeah, so Dave, what for you? Like I say, I know you're at an indoor retail store. Any sort of talk of a date yet? Or are you still waiting to find out from Nicola when that'll be?
No, 13th of July, mate. So I'm back at work next Monday, the 6th, just to get stuff ready. So last week off. So
how you feeling about going back after quite a while off?
Aye, fine. It'll be weird. I've forgot my password for fucking everything. And it'll be interesting to sign my name in that again because I used to sign my name about 20 times a day. Just I've not done it in ages, so aye. That's one of the things I'm looking forward to.
Going back.
Huh?
I'm feared about going back because I've not worn a pair of jeans. My last day in the office was the 20th of March. And that was the last day that I've worn a pair of jeans. I am shitting myself to put a pair of jeans on.
I've been shorts galore as well. I've got shorts on the neck.
Are you meaning for fit, Craig?
Oh, aye. Oh, fuck, aye.
Is that what you're meaning?
Mate, look, you can see it here. I'm keeping my shitey fucking 14-year-old stubble to have the double chin that's like coming underneath it.
I've been having to wear a hairband, like Jack Grealish style. I'm like, walking out.
I'm 100%. I want to get one, but I don't think my hair is long enough at the front to justify it yet.
Yeah, mine's as long as anything. I had it on just before I came on this podcast, but then I was like, no, I'll take it out just in case Gav's putting the video up. I was like, I'm not getting ripped wearing a hairband, but nah, I think I suit it.
Aye, you do. You suit the Jack Grealish like. I don't have these issues with hair.
No.
It's not an issue. It's very straightforward. Yeah, I done my beard myself, which I initially was leaving, but that's been fine. And then the head's pretty straightforward.
Won't be any barber making any money off of you come the end of lockdown?
No.
My balls is back.
Your Bulls.
I can start playing bowls as of the morrow. When my
That's
bowls
exciting.
that is exciting, mate. So I've got a couple of games lined up this week
Good.
before I go back to work. It's meant to be pishing down all week, so
Aye, I can imagine. Like I say, I was quite surprised it took golf so long to get back because that's something so easy to social distance whilst you're doing it. But yeah, bowl's the same. You can social distance while doing that. Limit numbers on of the people on the green and stuff, and yeah, easily done. But yeah, we'll finish up there, folks. So thanks for listening. Hope you enjoyed this bit of a sort of chat about other stuff that's been going on. I'm blabbering. But yeah, Full enough, chatting about Hibs. But yeah, follow us at HFC Talk. Follow us and subscribe wherever you get your podcast. All that nonsense. Enjoy your week, folks. Keep safe, and we'll be back soon. Cheers.
yeah.
Cheers.
Thanks for watching, folks. We've got more videos you can check out. You can also follow us at HFC Talk, and why not subscribe wherever you get your podcast, where we talk about Hibs, funnily enough. Cheers.